We're talking basic percent again. So here's two different setups. Basic percent equation in blue that the book talks about. Is to of as percent is to 100 in black. Number 2 on the right is the one that I kind of prefer and I think might be a little more straightforward. So we're going to go through, here's again a couple of examples we went through previously in videos. Here's a couple of examples, and we got a couple of examples to go through. So example number 1. Here's a problem. World's production of cocoa went for a recent year was 2,928 metric tons. Of this, 1,969 metric tons came from Africa. What percent of the world's cocoa was produced in Africa? Round to the nearest tenth. All right, so there's a piece of information that our answer should be rounded to the nearest tenth. Hang on a second. Let's see if I got blue. Let's do blue. Round to the nearest tenth. Let's see. We can use P times B equals A, or we can use is. Let's see. I'll change that color. Hang on a second. We can use is to of as percent is to 100. I'll use black, sorry, just to be consistent. Is to of as percent is to 100. All right, so there's our two different approaches. But essentially, we've got to, in order to use either one of those, we've got to kind of come up with a question that rephrases all this information together. Let's see. From Africa, we've got 1,969 tons. The total of the world's production is 2,928. So what percent of the world's cocoa was produced in Africa? Let's see. Another way to phrase that might be Africa is what percent of, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, only because we need to kind of rephrase all this information into one sentence that kind of allows us to use P and B and A, or is to of as percent is to 100. So here's my question, or my summary. Africa is what percent of world? If you can rephrase it that way, we can maybe say, put it in some numbers. Africa, what is Africa? 1969. Is what percent, that's what we're looking for. What percent of the world's cocoa was produced in Africa? What percent of the world? What's the world? 29, 28. 1969 is what percent of 29, 28? Let's use the PBA and see what we can come up with. If we've got PBA, it's over here. P times B equals A. Percent times the base equals an amount. Let's see. Of 2028, that's my base. What percent? We don't know. So we're going to go X percent times the base of 29, 28. Sorry, 29, 28 equals the amount, 1969 is Africa. And we solve X equals, well, see, hang on a second, we'll clear it up. Divide by 29, 28. Divide by 29, 28. And I got X equals 1969 divided by 29, 28. 1969 divided by 29, 28 equals, X equals 0.6724 ... But that's our percent in terms of a math statement. We got to change that into a percent. We multiply by 100% to get 67.24%. We've got to round to the nearest tenth. 67.2%. I don't know if I said that correctly before. 67.2% is what I got with the PBA setup. If I follow my other setup, is to of as percent is to 100, let's do this and see if I can take this information and summarize over here as is to of. Let's see. Of 2928, 2928 equals percent. We don't know X percent out of 100. 100 always goes here. 1969 has to go here. 1969. 1969 is goes here. And now we just cross multiply. I got 2928 times X equals 1969 times 100. Now we just simply divide. Let's see. Divide by 2928. divide by 2928. And this situation is similar to this situation over here. We're just dividing by 2928, 1969. But over here, we're going to get a full percent. We're going to get the descriptive percent. So here I've got x equals 1969, actually times 100. 1969 times 100 divided by 2928 equals, over here I get 67.247 dot 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 rounded to the nearest tenth. X equals 67.2%. Same answer. Different approaches, same answer. Whichever way you feel comfortable with, let's do it. All right.